You're watching the Fox 5 News at 4.
Tomorrow night on Fox 5, we will have a candid conversation about race in our community called Building Unity. We'll hear from minority groups in San Diego about the issues they face. Plus, we'll also look at how courses on racial and social justice are changing on college campuses. Tonight, Fox 5's Liberty Zabala shows us a new training course local law enforcement are already using to break down the racial divide.
Culture perpetuates racism by wrongly insisting there are only two options, us versus them.
I can't breathe! I can't breathe!
Racial division and bias are uncomfortable topics, but the death of George Floyd and the ensuing protests have thrusted them into the spotlight. That's why Pastor Miles McPherson of the Rock Church wanted to take these topics beyond talking or yelling. He has turned solving these issues into a training.
This training is designed to help people get in the conversation, understand their biases, understand the labels they put on people, understand how to love people.
It's this type of training District Attorney Summer Stephan saw value in before the pandemic. She and her staff at the Hall of Justice went through the first courses of the third option similarity training.
It's looking at things, instead of labeling it as a bias, it labels it as blind spots that people have. So what are your blind spots? What is it that you don't understand about someone else's culture, ethnicity, their race?
She says the training opened her eyes and her team's.
Some of the things that were really surprising to me and very insightful is the concept that people may not be racist, but they may be racially offensive.
For example, she learned it can be offensive to use the phrase, "I'm colorblind."
They don't think of it as offensive, but actually, as the training explains, to someone who is African American, who is proud to be African American, and also who has borne the scars of history that has been very ugly towards African Americans, you're essentially diminishing their experience by saying that, and it also is simply not true.
The training is based off of Pastor Miles McPherson's book on alleviating racial tension in churches and communities.
The third option, similarity training, answers those questions by inviting and guiding us to honor what we have in common.
Pastor Miles says he has been working on this training with the San Diego Police Department, the FBI, the Department of Homeland Security, the DA's office, the Sheriff's Department, and the Fire Department.
It was better because it caused them to look into their own heart and face their own biases. Everybody has biases. It's not a bad thing to have a bias. The challenge is that if you don't allow your biases to be challenged. And so they were encouraged that it was a safe place and not a accusatory environment to say, man, maybe I need to change the way I think.
And in an effort to spread that across the community, Pastor Miles has now launched his training course online.
My hope is that people would see, whether you have a uniform on, whether you're blue uniform, black skin, white skin, Hispanic, Asian, whatever you are, that we would all see each other as made in the image of God and learn to love each other and realize that we are more similar than different.
Meanwhile, other departments such as the Carlsbad Police Department and the El Cajon Police Department have also expressed interest in taking part in this training. For now, at the Rock Church, Liberty Zabala, Fox 5 News.
And tomorrow night, Fox 5's Christina Adencial is hosting a candid look at race in our community. What is the minority experience in San Diego? And how do we move the conversation forward? Join Fox 5 for our special Building Unity tomorrow at 7:30.